Become a RealCatholicTV.com premium member. It's all the news that isn't fit to print.
Hello everyone and welcome to The Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Vors. So here's an interesting question. Do people who vote liberal believe in hell? Now there's a buzzkill you can toss out there at your next social function and where you find yourself. You know, as in, hey Bob, you said you're voting liberal. I was curious. Do you believe in hell? It's an interesting question because the answer uncovers much and reveals a person's worldview. And to be perfectly fair, a person's worldview is their core. It's the place from where all their motivations and actions spring forth. So it's no surprise as you look over polls and discover that those who support Obama, for example, self-identify as much less religious than those who want him out of here. Now, it's true that not everyone who identifies himself as religious believes in hell, but you'll be much more likely to find a fire and brimstone believer among the self-identified religious than among the secularist humanist party crowd. In fact, it would be fair and reasonable to say that a central issue, a measuring rod, a predictor of how this election might turn out is this very question. Do you believe in hell, yes or no? And here's the reason. If someone does not believe in hell, and there's a lot of silly reasons that people reject the idea, then they don't really hold heaven in all that high regard either. If everyone gets to go to heaven, then how is heaven really that much different than earth? It's not that the more religious-minded want people to go to hell, but belief in hell is rooted in not only divine revelation, but also an intuition, an internal voice that says justice demands a hell. Something inside us just says, wow, Mother Teresa, really? Hanging out with unrepented serial killers and child molesters and parents and spouses who cheated on each other and rationalized everything as they ruined their kids' childhood just so they could have sex with someone other than their spouse. They get to hang out with Mother Teresa for eternity? It's not that the sinner is beyond the mercy of God. Of course they aren't. But they have to want that mercy. They have to admit their evil to themselves and God and all those other people that they've deliberately injured. In the absence of this, does it seem just that they should get to enjoy eternal joy right alongside St. Francis, St. Joan of Arc, St. Stephen, St. Isaac Jogues, etc., who lived and not to mention died exactly the opposite? So see, if everyone is in heaven and with the repentant and the unrepentant, what's the big deal about heaven? That wouldn't be all that different from life as we know it here on earth. And this becomes the kind of default position of those who dismiss the reality of hell. They take a kind of pass on heaven as well, at least in any meaningful manner. Not really into the heaven thing in the next life. They expend a great deal of effort trying to have heaven in this life. They use drugs or booze, engage in wanton sex, attach themselves to material wealth, adopt a view that the earth is the uppermost of concerns with regard to the climate, saving every species they've ever heard of, enlisting every government program to achieve every goal that could ever be imagined. In short, they want to bring about a utopia. This is exactly why Karl Marx said, quote, religion is the opium of the people, and why the Marquis de Sade said of religion that it is, quote, this opium that you feed your people. No big surprise here. Some people strive for heaven in eternity. Others wish to initiate it here on earth because they don't believe it exists in a next life. It would be ridiculous to think that these two opposing views, and they are in opposition to each other, don't get translated, at least in part, at the ballot box. People who are motivated by an authentic faith in God will overwhelmingly vote one way, and those who don't have that motivation will vote another way. People who do not think that hell actually exists, or if it does, that no one ever actually really goes there or goes there for eternity, are simply not going to give a hoot about objectively moral issues like abortion, same-sex marriage, euthanasia, embryonic stem cell research, because they don't believe in objective morality. They will be much more motivated to cast their votes for parties or laws or candidates who share their view that the only heaven you're ever going to get a crack at is here on earth, a kind of political version of you better get when the getting's good. If morality is rooted in what each individual person wants, then why should anyone cast a vote for anything other than their own narrow interests, sometimes shared in by others for their equally purely selfish reasons, but oftentimes not? Not exactly a good understanding of the common good, is it now? Make no mistake, who a people elect and how they vote says everything about whether they believe in hell, heaven, and God. Absolutely it does. God love you. I'm Michael Voris.